For this tutorial, you will need your selected yarn. I'm using Debbie Bliss Piper, and with this yarn I'm using a 4mm crochet hook. You can use whichever yarn you like, just make sure that you are using the corresponding crochet hook. You will also need a pair of scissors and a darning needle when it comes to sewing in your ends. As always, I'll leave all of the links in the description box below, so make sure that you go and take a look at that after the video. So let's go ahead and get started. To begin, you want to create your slip knot, and you can do this in whichever method you prefer. Go ahead and insert your crochet hook, and we're going to start off with a foundation chain, and we'll do this in a multiple of 4 plus 2. So we're going to yarn over 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 and 4, so that's one set of 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you will continue with this foundation chain in multiples of 4 until you get to the width of the project you desire, and then you're going to add 2 at the very end. So go ahead, work your foundation chain, and then meet me back once you're ready. Okay, so I've just done my sample chain, and this is 32 stitches. So now we want to add the 2 at the end. So 1 and 2, this is the turning chain and also helps with the pattern repeat. So my chain is 34 in total, but yours may be slightly different. Now let's have a look at row 1. So for row 1, we want to treble crochet into the 4th chain from the hook. Now remember, I'm working in UK terms. In the US, this is known as a double crochet. So we're not counting the one that's on the hook. We have 1, 2, 3 and 4, so we'll be working into this chain. We're going to yarn over the hook, insert into that 4th chain, yarn over and pull through. You'll have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, you'll have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through both of those loops on the hook, and there is a treble crochet. These skip chains that we've done for turning will count as a stitch. So for this row 1, we're simply going to do 1 treble crochet or double crochet if you're in the US across the entire chain. So go ahead, pause the video, work those stitches all the way across your foundation chain, and then meet me back once you're ready. So now you've come to the end of your row 1, we're now going to move on to row 2. And row 2 is actually the start of the row repeat that we'll be doing later on. So if you need to rewind the video, you can come back to this point. So for row 2, we're going to start off by chaining 2, turning the work. This chain 2 will count as a half treble crochet, which is known as a half double crochet in the US. And what we're going to do is going to start off with a pattern repeat, which will work all the way across the row. We're going to skip this very first stitch here because this chain 2 is counting as a stitch. And then we're going to do 2 back post treble crochets. So remember, I'm working in UK terms, so in this US this would be back post double crochet. We'll yarn over, find that next stitch, and then come around the back of the work to the front, over the post, and then round to the back of the work again. So I'll just show you that once more. To the back of the work, through to the front, push the post backwards, and then insert the hook to the back of the work again. Yarn over, pull through 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And that is a back post treble crochet. So we'll do that again around the next stitch. So pushing that stitch backwards and then working the treble crochet. We're now going to do 2 front post treble crochets. So yarn over, insert the hook from the front to the back of the work, push that post forwards and then bring the hook back to the front of the work. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We'll do that again. So from front to back to front, like so. We're now going to continue this pattern, repeat all the way across. So 2 back post treble crochets, 1, and 2, 2 front post treble crochets, 1 and 2, and then 2 back post double crochets, 1 and 2, and 2 front post treble crochets, 1 and 2. So you'll repeat the 2 back post double crochets and the 2 front post double crochets all the way along. When you've repeated that pattern repeat, you'll have 3 stitches remaining, the turning chain and 2 stitches. So once you have those, meet me back once you're ready and I'll show you how to finish off row 2. Okay, so having worked our way across, we have those 3 stitches remaining, 1, 2, and the turning chain. We've just done those last 2 front post treble crochets. We're now going to do 2 back post treble crochets, 1 and 2, and then we're going to do a half treble crochet, which is half double crochet in the US, into the top of that turning chain. So yarn over into the top of that turning chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. And that is the end of row 2. For row 3, we'll turn our work. We will chain 2, again, that counts as a stitch, and we'll miss that very first stitch because this is counting as a stitch. And then we're going to do a pattern repeat. So the pattern repeat will be 2 front post treble crochets, so pushing that post forwards, 1 and 2, and then 2 back post treble crochets, so pushing that stitch back, 1 and 2, and then the pattern repeat continues, 2 front post treble crochets, 2 back post treble crochets, 1 and 2. So you'll continue to do that all the way across, again, until you have 3 stitches remaining. So pause the video, work your way over to this point, meet me back and I'll show you how to finish off this row. Okay, so now you've worked your way across and you have those 3 stitches remaining. You've finished on 2 back post treble crochets. We'll end with 2 front post treble crochets, 1 and 2, and then we're going to do a half treble crochet into the top of that chain 2 from the previous row. And there we have row 3. So let's move on to row 4. We're going to turn our work, and row 4 is actually the same as row 3. So we're going to chain 2, we're going to skip that first stitch, and we're going to start off with our 2 front post trebles around the next 2 stitches. So we have 1 and 2, and then 2 back post treble crochets around the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2, and then you'll repeat that all the way across. So 2 front post treble crochets, 1 and 2, and 2 back post treble crochets, 1 and 2, and continue to repeat that all the way until you have those 3 stitches remaining. So go ahead, work your way across until you have those 3 stitches, and I'll show you how to finish off this row. Okay, so once you've worked your way all the way across, you have those 3 stitches remaining. We've finished on the 2 back post treble crochets. We're then going to do 2 front post treble crochets, 1 and 2, and then work that half treble crochet into the chain 2 from the beginning of the last row. So now we do have this gorgeous texture starting to emerge, but we do have one more row to do before we start our pattern repeat. So for row 5, we're going to turn our work, chain 2, and then for this row, we're going to repeat row 2. So row 2 was skip this first stitch and then do 2 back post treble crochets followed by 2 front post treble crochets. So back post treble, back post treble, and then front post treble, and front post treble. So you're going to continue to repeat that all the way across, 2 back post trebles, 2 front post trebles, all the way until you have those last 3 stitches remaining. Pause the video and then meet me back at this point. Okay, so you've worked your way across, you have your 3 stitches remaining. We've finished on 2 front post treble crochets. So now we're going to do 2 back post treble crochets, 1 and 2, and then finish with the half treble into the top of the chain 2 from the previous row. So that is the end of the pattern repeat. From this point forward, you are going to repeat rows 2 to 5. So you can start to see the pattern just emerging, and once it's built up, it looks absolutely gorgeous like this. How gorgeous is this mini basket weave? It has such gorgeous texture to it, and it looks the same on the back than it does on the front. And if you like the look of this mini basket weave, then I think you'll also love this stitch too. So go ahead and check that out.